Hello everyone, it's Chris Hildrew here, head teacher at Churchill Academy in Sixth Form. It's Friday the 15th of January and this is the recorded version of the update letter to parents of Friday the 15th of January. So after the tumultuous events of the week following the Christmas holidays, we've had an opportunity to take stock of the current situation and reflect on what's working well and what can be improved. What I'm hoping to do today is summarise what we know now that we didn't know when I last wrote to you or last spoke to you on the 5th of January. So on remote learning, staff have been really impressed with the engagement and commitment of our students, the vast majority of whom are attending lessons remotely just as if they've been in school. We're really grateful to the support offered by families in ensuring that students have access to the right facilities in which to work, and we know how difficult that can be, especially during the current lockdown when so many of you are also having to work from home. We know that remote education requires a lot of time engaging with screens, and this has to be balanced with the incredible opportunities for learning that technology provides. So teachers are working really hard to find the balance between screen-based, paper-based and activity-based learning in line with our planned curriculum. We intend that this will evolve over the coming weeks, so students get regular breaks from their screens through their timetabled lessons to do, for example, physical activities and other practical things. We're aware that some students, however, are choosing to use their games consoles or phones during their breaks from lessons, which may in fact be rather too much screen time, but of course we will let parents and guardians make decisions about how appropriate that would be, balanced with the need for fresh air and exercise within the current lockdown restrictions. We also know that our students are working, as they do at school, at different paces through their remote education programme, and this is completely normal and to be expected. As outlined in our newsletter last week, our expectations is that students spend no longer than the timetabled lesson time, 1 hour, on the work for each lesson. We're aiming to provide enough time in each session for students to document, save, and if necessary, upload their work before the end of the lesson. Our rule of thumb is, do as much as you can with your best effort in the time that you have available. You will never be in trouble if your teachers can see that you've tried your best with remote learning, even if you haven't finished everything. In school, our frontline provision has now settled into a good routine. Students are familiar with the expectations and are making strong progress with the remote learning offer supervised by Academy staff. COVID safety remains a key priority, and we continue to emphasise this in order to protect our students and our staff. Eligibility for places in frontline is detailed on our website. Please note, however, the government guidance has been updated and states, and I quote, "Children with at least one parent or carer who is a critical worker can go to school if required, but parents and carers should keep their children at home if they can." So please only apply for places in frontline if you meet the criteria and if you cannot work without a place in school. All inquiries about places in frontline should be directed to frontline@churchill-academy.org. And it's really important that you do not send your children into school unless you have a confirmed place in frontline, as we need to find a space in the school where they can work, which is compliant with our COVID safety risk assessment, so that we don't place anybody else at risk by having too many children in each classroom. On exams, it's been confirmed that no public exams will take place this summer. This applies to GCSEs, A-levels, AS-levels, BTEC, CTECs, Applied Generals, Cambridge Nationals and the full suite of public exams this summer. On Wednesday, the Secretary of State for Education wrote a letter to Ofqual to lay out his thinking for the system which will replace the exams. In that letter, he wanted Ofqual to look at externally set tasks or papers which students would sit on their return to school. These do sound a little bit like exams. Ofqual, the exams regulator, is consulting on these proposals, and the outcome of that consultation will provide us with the clarity that we so desperately need. We don't expect that outcome until mid-February at the earliest, but we will keep you all informed as we learn more about what is proposed for these externally set tasks that are not exams. It does seem very clear that some kind of formal assessment will remain. We have to assume that anything on the exam specification may still be assessed, and that any non-exam assessment, NEA or coursework, may still be used as part of the awarding of grades this summer. Therefore, as we've said all along, it's essential that students in Year 11 and Year 13 continue to participate in remote learning as fully as possible through the lockdown. We know how difficult it must be to remain motivated with all this uncertainty, and we applaud our Year 11 and 13 students for their determination and resilience in the situation. On coronavirus testing, we are now in a position to begin coronavirus testing for those students and staff who are on the Academy site using lateral flow device tests. The aim of this programme is to identify any students or staff who may be carrying the virus without experiencing any symptoms, so that asymptomatic cases can be isolated. This will break the chains of transmission and further reduce the risk of the virus spreading. We understand that testing of this kind will be an important part of the eventual full reopening of schools to provide additional reassurance to staff and students. Explicit consent must be obtained before carrying out a test for COVID-19, and we will only offer testing where consent has been obtained in advance. We will give further information to you all about the wider testing programme when we have it. A reminder about the lockdown measures. Although the Academy continues to operate and I'm here in school today during the national lockdown, it is essential that everyone in our community continues to observe the national restrictions to stop the spread of the virus. You can find the details of the restrictions on gov.uk, and there's a link in the email version of this letter. The single most important action we can all take is to stay at home to protect the NHS and save lives, and I would urge everyone in our Academy community to continue to help in that effort. So in conclusion, I know it's been an exceptionally challenging time for everybody involved in schools and education, teachers, students and families. The overwhelming feeling that I have had over the course of this period has been one of unity, with everyone involved making the very best of a situation that none of us want to be in. I would like to thank every family member for the support you have offered to our students and to our staff throughout the pandemic. I also want to pay tribute to our staff, who continue to work with great dedication and commitment on site and at home to ensure that learning continues to thrive. And above all, I want to applaud our students for their kindness, their curiosity and their determination as they continue to learn and make progress in these most unusual circumstances. They're a wonderful group of young people. So thank you very much, and I will return with another update towards the end of next week, hopefully when we have a bit more news for you. Stay safe and stay well. Thanks so much.